Yes, good morning, class. Hope you're doing well and hope that you've understood the last lecture that was provided on plant location, the two lectures that were provided. Today we will move on to the next topic sequentially, that is plant layout. How to design a layout. Layout means if an area is demarcated for your plant, how to plan what, where should be what, so that minimum spoilage, minimum labor movement, minimum hazards are there. We will go through all the principles one by one, but this is the location. This is the main aspect that how what departments. And inside department also there can be layouts. Okay? Inside department, there department. Where the first two or three slides definition. Plant layout refers to the arrangement of machinery, equipment, and other industrial facilities for achieving with equipment and other industrial facilities. So how you arrange these facilities for achieving quickest and smooth production. Quickest production is number one. Next is smooth production. It should be in a need for a good plant layout. Why do we need a layout is good? Integrated production. That is why you have to plan materials by machines. It is better. It is necessary that materials are handled more by every time if you want to pick up something from one place and put it somewhere else. Every time if the materials are moved, constantly materials are moved from one place to another place. That time, that takes electricity, that takes load, that becomes a problem for designing the layout properly also. Okay, so reduce material handling. Okay, effective utilization of available space. So the space that you're provided with, you must be effectively using it. You should not be so that the space is cluttered together, or it should not be that spaces are lying vacant. You could have used, but you are not using it. So spaces must be properly used. Both. It is three-dimensional space, not only the floor area, the height of the building also. Worker convenience and satisfaction, flexibility, that is if some flexibility is necessary for some machine to be shifted from one place to the other place, it can be done easily. That flexibility must be there in the layout planning. Quick disposal of work that you have done must be finished off quickly. Avoid industrial accidents. Very important point to avoid industrial accidents. Because in big manufacturing industry, accidents takes place a lot. That it is accident prone. I would not say accidents takes place a lot. Big industries are accident prone. So because they are working with heavy metals or heavy manufacturing items or machines which can create accidents. So the layout should be managed in such a manner so that it can avoid industrial accidents. Okay. Next is objectives of plant layout. It is very easy to understand. Provide enough production capacity, reduce material handling cost, reduce congestion, reduce hazards to personnel, reduced congestion. That is, machines and materials should not get congested in one place. There should not be any bottleneck creating at one place. Reduce hazards to personnel, utilize labor efficiently. That is, there must be proper layout where labor can work more efficiently. The efficiency of the utilize available space optimally, that has been discussed before. Provide for volume and product flexibility. So volume must also be there. If required, the volume should be able to be increased. And if product flexibility needs to be there, flexibility can also be brought in. both factors needs to be taken into consideration before preparing a layout. Provide ease of supervision. That is, the supervisor who is supervising should not go from place to place to supervise. He should be able to stay in one place or roam about very casually and easily so that he can supervise all the laborers who are working. He should not have to means turn and toil for too much. He should have easy access to every employee's workspace so that he can supervise easily. Allow ease of maintenance. Now, if you stack materials one after the other just to have the material space utilized, then maintenance might be difficult because maintenance needs access to the machines. So accessibility to the machines are required. Accessibility to every part of the machine should be there so that you can maintain the machines when the maintenance are carried out. We've already seen what maintenance are in our previous lectures. What type of maintenances are there? Those maintenances should be carried out properly. Oiling, greasing, lubricating, these things, or predictive maintenance using various gadgets. So these maintenance activities must be carried out properly and smoothly. Next, a long question for your exams. Characteristics of a good layout. Each and every point must be elaborated properly. Efficient space utilization, as I've told you, must elaborate it properly. Flexibility, I have told you, again, you must elaborate properly. Accessibility, also I have told you, machines must be accessible. Economy in handling, there must be economy in handling. I'll read this out. The layout should facilitate economies in handling materials, work in progress, and finished goods. Handling should be reduced by the optimal use of hoists, chutes, trucks, lifts, conveyors, etc. So these are the things. These are the material handling tools: hoists, chutes, trucks, lifts, conveyor belts. These are the economic handling tools that must be continuously used for proper economy in handling. Minimum movement must be as minimum as possible so that time wastage is reduced and energy wastage is reduced. Ensuring coordination. A good layout would be able to coordinate all operations. The layout should be designed taking into account the interrelationship between various equipments, departments, and personnel. It is therefore important that while planning the layout, the complete picture of the organization is considered. So, complete picture, a holistic approach must be there before planning the layout. Visibility, there must be visibility. Everything, every item in the organization, in the plant, must be properly visible to the workers and to the person concerned. It should not be hidden behind something. Reduce discomfort. Adherence to statutory regulations. Whatever the Factories Act regulations are there that is required to design a particular layout, those regulations must be met. It would be better that if you give 2 or 3 examples of such regulations in the question if it comes. Preservation of materials and equipments. Layout should contain safeguards and against fire, moisture, theft, and general deterioration of equipments and materials. Okay. Next is principles of layout. What are the main principles on which the layout is based? Principle of minimum travel, principle of sequence. Principle of minimum travel means I have already explained what minimum travel is. The lower the travel, the better it is. So principle of minimum travel must be taken into consideration. Principle of okay. Principle of sequence, that is one activity should be carried out after the after one activity, the sequence must be maintained properly. Principle of usage, principle of compactness. Thing must look compact. It should not look hazy-daisy. It should look compact. Principle of safety and satisfaction. If safety is there, satisfaction is automatically there. Principle of flexibility, again, and principle of minimum investment. Everything can be achieved, but at a very high cost. If you pay a lot, everything can be achieved. But you have to plan accordingly so that the investment is minimum. Optimal case. This is called optimal case. You cannot have unlimited money allocated for your layout preparation. You have a limited capacity, limited fund. Within that limited fund, how to optimize your layout? What are the costs associated with layout? Cost of movement of materials from one area to the another. It is a cost because it is a time factor. Time can be converted into cost. Cost of space. Cost of production delays, if any, which are indirect cost. Production delays means it will reach the customer late, so it's indirect cost. Cost of spoilage of materials, it's the direct cost. Cost of labor dissatisfaction, health risk is also an indirect cost. If laborers are dissatisfied, their productivity will decrease. If their health risk, productivity will decrease. Cost of changes required if the operational conditions change in the future. There's a long-term cost. If operational conditions change in the future, the layout must be planned in such a way that it can adjust to it. So this is a long-term cost. Cost of customer dissatisfaction due to poor service, which must be avoided at all respect. This is the primary thing. What are the factors affecting plant layout? Materials, product, worker, machinery, and type of industry. What are the types of industry? Industry can be synthetic, industry can be analytical, like any consultancy firm. Industry can be conditioning, industry can be extractive, like mining or something. Okay, these are the forms of industry. So in type of industry, machinery, worker, product, and materials are the factors affecting plant layout. Types of layout: process layout, product layout, fixed position layout, cellular layout, and hybrid layout. These are basically 5 types of layout that we have discussed in the class. Process layout is meant for batch production. Product layout is meant for mass or continuous production. Fixed position layout is meant for projects. Cellular and hybrid layout are modern inventions. In cellular layout, you infringe or you input the product layout inside process layout. In hybrid layout, you mix and match different types of layouts for your convenience, as per your convenience. So you must also study each and every layout type, their advantages, their disadvantages, the comparisons. The next slide only you have it. So till today, we end here at the types of layout. Please don't forget to study the types of layout. Okay, thank you class.